New Electro Dragon evolution coming to Clash Royale, which is going to absolutely destroy everything. Let's see what evolutions are the best in the game. Starting with E-Drag evolution, and of course, this thing chains infinitely. And it actually got nerfed before it was released because it was too powerful, and it still kind of is. You know, infinite chain is a lot, even if it only stuns for a few of those shots. So I'm going to put this in S tier. Obviously, it's going to be great with Golem. Really, any other deck that works with Electro Dragon is going to be incredibly strong with this now. And it's one cycle. You know, I thought Mega Knight evolution was extremely overpowered last video, but now that I look at it, it's kind of easy to counter. It's really just a normal Mega Knight with the punching ability and doesn't really have any other differences besides that. Honestly, I could stand putting this in A tier, especially considering that normal Pekka can still counter Evo Mega Knight, so no real changes there. I thought it was S tier when it first came out, but no. Now with Evo Pekka's balance changes, they're gonna nerf it, meaning I think it will heal less if I'm correct, of course. I still think it's a really good evolution, kind of along with Mega Knight, and they're really strong if used correctly, but they're not as no skill as I thought they would be. Of course, that's gonna be more balanced with the nerfs coming up, so I'm gonna put that in A tier. Goblin Giant evolution, I feel like people forgot that this thing existed. It's just a normal Goblin Giant that spawns goblins at half health behind. Honestly, just kind of easy to counter. It's a good evolution. And actually, it was pretty overpowered when it first came out, but it's just kind of there now. I'll put it in A tier, maybe lower A tier, upper B tier, of course, but definitely just an average evolution that really no one uses anymore. Evo Goblin Cage is B tier. I look at this thing and I see a Goblin Cage that doesn't really need any changes. First of all, no one uses Goblin Cage. I know evolutions were originally supposed to buff cards that weren't used, but I mean, look what happened. You have like Evo Knight, Evo Archers, Evo Firecracker. Those are cards that were used even before evolutions came out. Now, Goblin Cage doesn't really need one, and it's kind of pointless. I mean, it just pulls stuff into it and does damage to it. I mean, yes, it can counter Pekka, but the opponent just needs to use a spell. Goblin Cage evolution can be countered by intelligence, and that's what makes it useless. Evo Tesla is getting a nerf. You know, with the stun damage that it does when it pops up and pops down and all that fun stuff, it's getting a nerf where upon death, Evo Tesla does not do its stun anymore. Actually, when this card first came out, it got buffed so the death damage would happen, but now this is not a thing. I would almost say B tier, but I'm gonna put this in low A tier just because of the fact that Expo Tesla is still a thing, and the stun itself is still really good, and they buffed regular Tesla, so this is a lot faster now, so probably just A tier, like average or something like that. Still a good evolution to have in your deck, but Goblin Barrel evolution, it's an extension of Logbait. The only people who use Goblin Barrel evolution are Logbait players. I know people who use this thing, and it's generally not the best. It's really just like an addition. Kind of confuses the player, but if you know what you're doing, you know which one is the real Goblin, of course. Again, countered by intelligence, and I know some decks struggle against Logbait, so maybe you have different opinions about it, but I'm just gonna put this in high B tier, all right? Definitely one of those cards that you can watch out for in certain situations compared to all the others. Definitely not. Evil Wall Breakers are not good anymore. They were really strong when they first came out. You know, when the original Wall Breakers got exploded, it kills everything around it. That was good until they nerfed the damage, then they nerfed the speed, and I think they nerfed the damage again, and it doesn't look like it's gonna get buffed anytime soon. I don't think it got changed in the recent balance changes. If it did, please let me know and yell at me in the comment section, of course, and I'll put it back in S tier. Even after the nerfs that Evo Bomber has received, I still think it's a great sniper. For the value that it gets for 2 elixir, even if it's 2 cycle, even if the distance between the bounces is lower, I still think Evo Bomber is great because it still hits the tower from certain angles, and I like that. You know, I'm a Magic Archer player myself, and it's nice to snipe the tower. Great with a lot of different decks, like maybe even Drill in some situations, and a very great evolution to have still. A lot of people use it. Even after 8 months, this guy is still used a lot. Evo Knight got nerf after nerf after nerf after nerf after nerf, and still is a solid evolution to have. Put that in A tier. Holy crap, this thing is still very good. You know, it was incredibly good when it first came out, and when it moves, it takes a lot less damage. It still does that very well. Great tank even now. Knight itself is a great card, so having an evolved version is perfect. Evo Wizard, almost pointless, I would say. Remember when it first came out, it had no changes to it other than the shield, and now the shield's been nerfed, so it dies to a freaking log. What's the point of Evo Wizard now? It used to be S tier. Now I'm putting it in A tier just because of its a unique situation where it doesn't really have a purpose anymore now that it's been nerfed. And other than that, it's just a regular wizard. For 5 elixir, you really don't want to spend that much. Not a lot of people use wizard on its own. Evo Archers are B tier. Okay, I remember when the nerfs came out. Actually, I used to use Evil Archers. They used to be able to snipe the Inferno Tower, and they used to do a lot more damage, cards that were far away, and it was S tier evolution back then. Now, they nerfed it down to A tier, then they nerfed it down to B tier. The range has been decreased, damage has been decreased, but Expo players still use Evil Archers. Other than that, I don't really know anyone who uses Evil Archers. Archers themselves aren't really that used. Evil Mortar is annoying to deal with. Actually, something surprising happened this season. Mortar Cannon Cart, which is such an annoying combo. I wish it was deleted. And Evil Mortar doesn't really accentuate this. I mean, just having regular Mortar with this combo is great. I don't want to focus too much on this combo because the Evo itself doesn't really add that much. Kind of shoots faster, kind of spawns a goblin at the tower, and not the best in my opinion, so it's gonna go in like an average B tier. Tell me in the comment section. Firecracker. So there's a long history with Firecracker. Low B tier. So when this evolution first came out, it was the best card in the game. Absolutely no way of beating this. Arrows didn't counter it. Now it does. The damage been nerfed. The poison's been nerfed. The damage got nerfed again. It was broken. Now it's not. Low B tier. Rest in peace, evolution Firecracker. No one uses this evolution anymore, and I'm not surprised. I mean, I used to use it. So Pekka bridge spam kind of revived Evo Battle Ram, but now that I look at it, and obviously Pekka's been nerfed, Evo Battle Ram is not that useful anymore. The only real nerf I believe it received, it wasn't able to push back some larger units. It was an okay evolution when it first came out, then for some reason they nerfed it. I'm actually kind of surprised. Evo Battle Ram wasn't the best evolution when it first came out, but it just kind of sits there. No one uses it really anymore. I remember skeleton evolutions, they didn't get nerfed, I don't think much at all. You know, you have people suggesting like a cap on how many evolutions can spawn, but when it attacks, it obviously multiplies and it doesn't really stop. It was good when it came out, but compared to the other evolutions when it first came out, not the best. So I think I'd put it in A tier just because it's always been pretty solid and used in quite a lot of decks. I'd almost say like high A tier, almost S tier. Very decent and very solid. Evo Barbs are going in C tier. Never have these guys been good. They were just slightly stronger barbarians that kind of got rage. Nothing really changed. The skeletons and barbarians were completely overshadowed by Firecracker and Royal Giant, that these two just kind of sat there and did nothing. I mean, skeleton evolutions ended up all right, but Evo Barbs, I haven't seen Evo Barbs in weeks, and I play Clash every day. Maybe even crap, but nah, I don't want to go that far. That's reserved for two very special evolutions coming up. Evo Eye Spirit, crap Evo. Okay, it's a stain on the ground that freezes 3 times. I've said this over and over again. This man is useless and deserves to be deleted. It shouldn't have come out in the first place. Remember when they only released 1 evolution per month? We were completely disappointed by this guy. And it used to be 3 cycles. It used to be like crap minus in some very specific circumstances. Yes, this evolution can be used. No way this guy's going higher than that unless they make it 1 cycle. Evo Bats, also crap Evo. So these two just completely ruined the months of October and December because they were completely underwhelming and no one liked them. Evo Bats, yes, they hit and they heal, but it's a bat. It's supposed to die in 1 hit to everything anyways. You preserve it for like maybe an extra hit if and only if it does damage too. Other than that, the Evil Bats are just normal bats. Very useless in my opinion. The main reason why I didn't buy the pass that season. Evo Royal Giant is going in B tier. Okay, this guy, when he shoots, he does a shockwave all around him, roughly the same as a regular Royal Giant. Yes, I think it does a little more damage. Don't quote me on that. This guy was S tier when it first came out, then it got nerfed, then it got nerfed again, then it got nerfed again. Honestly, no one uses Royal Giant evolution besides like a few people. Royal Giant in the meta right now hasn't been the strongest. I did see it come out a couple seasons back, but other than that, and just been kind of hidden, kind of like Battle Ram evolution and Firecracker and Archers and really everything else in this B tier. Evo Valkyrie I'll put in lower A tier, high B tier. Okay, Evo Valkyrie, I used to use Evo Valkyrie a lot. When she attacks, she spawns a tornado and just pulls everything closer, which does more damage in turn, and actually is a really good air counter for like bats and a bunch of other things that are low health in the air. Good evolution on defense. The stats itself haven't changed. Pretty lame other than that, but a solid evolution, and actually got buffed a couple seasons back. That's why it kind of saw some use when Drill first came out, and I was one of those users, of course. So I thought this wouldn't happen, but they just removed the 3rd zap from Evo Zap. I'm thinking why? You know, Evo Zap got nerfed like twice in the couple seasons before that, and then they nerfed it again. I'm like, why? Evo Zap's all right. I mean, it doesn't really need another nerf, but I'm guessing they're going to decide to do it, so I'll put that in high B tier. I remember seeing Evo Zap quite a lot a couple seasons back. Nowadays, it's just kind of there. I don't see it that much actually. Also, kind of like the Evil Wizard, kind of pointless the evolution itself because it doesn't really add much to the zap. Goblin Drill evolution, put this baby in S tier all the way to the top. I am not biased at all, but Evo Goblin Drill is the best thing man has ever ever made. When it pops up, it pops down, then pops up again. Does this 3 times. Incredible. And it's really annoying to deal with when you don't have like a tank to deal with, like Valkyrie or a Knight. Pretty annoying when it just keeps popping up around the tower and it spawns goblins. They actually got a rework this season with the balance changes. They removed the damage, but they added an extra goblin, which is kind of weird and how it works. I consider it just a great evolution and I love it. You think it's annoying, of course, and that's why I use it. Now, if that were to apply to every evolution, I'd have Royal Recruits up in S tier, but no. High B tier. Royal Recruits are supremely annoying over just about anything over here. When they knock the shield off, of course, they dash. And you know, with like Fireball Bait and stuff like that, I can see, but I haven't seen a lot of Fireball Bait recently. Now, the Royal Recruits evolution has been nerfed, I believe, in the past few seasons. Again, I haven't kept track of every single evolution, really comparable to all the other ones over here on B and A tier. This is the final list. Leave your opinions in the comment section. Well, make sure you join our international Clash Royale and Brawl Stars Discord. We have support from multiple different languages, and we do giveaways for both games over there. Make sure you subscribe. I tried to go easy on S tier because last video, y'all complained about me putting every single evolution that was released in the last 6 months in S tier, of course, and I'd love to see your opinions. Make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit.